Hello everyone, I'm Ronn Grant, coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. You're watching 284 Media. Thank you so much for your time. As you know, we here at 284 Media pride ourselves in presenting the very best and brightest of the Virgin Islands. I'm today honored to be joined by actor and film producer, the Virgin Islands' very own, the one and only Sheldon Frett. We talk his journey and what's up next, as well as why he's presently home in the BVI. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
When you're in need of air conditioning, installation, repairs, or replacement services, Markinson Air Conditioning and Refrigeration has the professional technicians, equipment, parts, and ACs to get the job done right. Markinson Air Conditioning and Refrigeration carries top brands like Daikin, Aircon, Mitsubishi, and more. We're open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Located in Fish Bay. Telephone 340-4114 or 343-9511. Markinson Air Conditioning and Refrigeration, providing exceptional services to the British Virgin Islands since 2015.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Father Jesus, that line you long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer in line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, sonny boy, come, yes, son.
Good morning.
Good morning, sonny boy. Over there. You must have cut fun to people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you? You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Welcome back everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. As promised, I'm today joined by Virgin Islands film producer and actor, rather, the one and only Sheldon Frett, who is in the Virgin Islands. First of all, welcome to our studios, and most importantly, welcome back home.
Thank you. The studio looks amazing.
Thank you very much.
Extremely well
put together.
Yeah.
We took our time with this project. Now, as I mentioned, you're back home, and you had the opportunity to grace the stage at the recent Elmore Stout High School graduation commencement ceremony as part of your school anniversary. We're going to get into that, but for the persons who do not know your journey, I want you to touch a bit on the journey of Sheldon Frett as an actor and film producer.
Okay. My journey as an actor, it started in 2013. Actually, I'm coming up on my 10-year mark. It takes 10 years to be good.
Okay.
And 20 years to be great. So I got a call October 11th. I'll never forget it. October 11th, it was my mom's birthday. October 11th, 2013, I got a call, said I just booked a job for the Get On Up film.
Nice.
And my agent called me and it was like, you know, I had about 4 or 5 auditions previously. They wanted me for like some of the lead roles, but this was my first audition ever, so I didn't have any credits. And my agent called me and she was like, hey, they want you for this specific role. And I was like, okay, so we didn't get the others. You know, in my mind, it wasn't a disappointment because I was just excited to get a role on a major studio film, you know, after my first big shot. And then she whispers on the phone, you're gonna be working directly with Viola Davis. And I just lost it.
Yeah.
Because as a first timer, you don't get that opportunity to work with those stars straight out the gate. So my career started in 2013. I was studying previously with a private coach who moved from New York to Tampa, Florida, where I was at the time finishing up my undergrad. So I was training with her for 3 years. She would not let us audition or get out into industry because she knew that it was very important for us to understand the craft first.
Okay.
So my first audition out, the Get On Up film, I got the call, booked that. And then because of that start, my career kind of like skyrocketed out of nowhere, because outside in the world looking in as an actor, the film producers and everybody else, they're looking like, okay, well, here's this newcomer, and how does he get to stand next to Viola Davis, Academy Award winner Viola Davis? So that's where my career started.
Awesome.
2013.
Now, for those who don't know, the Get On Up project is a James Brown biopic film, of course, which chronicles his rise to fame within the music industry.
Correct.
Now, when you look at the journey, of course, you mentioned being a newcomer and getting to that point.
Wait, let me not interrupt you. Starring the late Chadwick Boseman.
Indeed, yes, we forgot to mention that Chadwick was featured in that film as one of the key aspects. What was that like? What was that experience like,
my life.
having worked with both of them?
So sitting in the trailer, getting my hair and makeup done, the first person I met was Chadwick.
Okay.
And Chadwick was in full James Brown costume, and he walks in and he knew exactly who I was.
Okay.
He knew exactly what time I was filming. He was an extreme professional. And because that's my first time on set, I'm nervous. I'm a little uncomfortable, imposter syndrome, wondering, well, did I deserve this? Or, this is my first time. I've never been on a major motion picture set. It's like, we're talking Hollywood. There's films, and then there's studio films.
Gotcha.
So when you get on the studio set and you see all these lights and you see this trailer and someone comes and picks you up from the vehicle and they're like, hey, Mr. Frett, we're going to take you to your trailer. And I'm like, I'm a kid from Tortola. I'm like, what's this?
Right.
I have no idea. And then Chadwick knew that this was my first gig. I don't know how. I guess producers, directors, I made fans. And he came up to me and he was like, in James Brown, you're going to be something, kid. Like literally in character, because he would not break character because it was such a tough role.
Of course.
And I was just blown away by his understanding and empathy for someone like me. So because of that, I have taken that into my career, like making sure that people feel comfortable around me. And then right after that, I sit in the trailer and I'm getting my hair and makeup done, and then Viola Davis walks in, Academy Award winner Viola Davis, and I'm sitting there. And it's hard not to be starstruck, because these are like people that I've studied in the journey. And I'm sitting there and she was like, so you're playing my boyfriend, huh? And it just broke the seal. So I like those little icebreakers where these celebrities took their time to let me feel welcomed and comfortable. So I take that on my journey. So you'll always get that from me, that humility of them being number one and number two on the call sheet, and understanding that this was my first gig and I didn't even feel like it.
And something that you mentioned that I think is extremely important when it comes to the business of film and television is empathy. Empathy to the persons that you work with, as well as the persons who would come in and not feel very comfortable, but it's your job as well to do your best in making them feel comfortable and integrating them into that environment. What have you been working on recently?
So, best of times, worst of times, which was the pandemic. Unfortunately, so many things that were happening negative to the people around me. During that time, everything was positively happening for me.
Interesting.
So it was the best of times, worst of times, but it was the best time for me because I took a risk. So during the pandemic, no one knew what was going to happen, and we were all unsure about the future. So I literally emptied my savings. I won't tell you the amount, but it was like I emptied my savings, and I took a risk on myself, and I bought the rights to a play.
Okay.
Because I'm a stage actor first. Being a stage actor helps me become a better film actor. So I literally bought the rights to a play that I fell in love with in 2013 before I got that gig, because I was working in class studying. So the play is called Careless Love. I was in love with this play, and I just wanted to put it up on stage. And then after going to grad school and understanding that I've watched a few of the Oscar winners. For example, Moonlight.
Yes.
And then we have like The Father and those things. And then now we have The Whale. Those things were play adaptations.
Okay.
And they're always acclaim worthy because, you know, if we're going back to the Shakespeare days, you know, doing theater is somewhat regarded as a real art form. So I bought the rights to this play during the pandemic, and I literally adapted it into a screenplay. So I'm gonna make a movie adaptation of this play called Careless Love.
Incredible.
So while everything was happening in the pandemic, people weren't leaving the houses, everybody was worrying about life and safety and health, and you know, those were important things. For me, I was doing the opposite. I was writing, I had a lot going for me. I was in the process of getting prepped for the film. So what I'm working on right now is I wrote my first screenplay. I am going to be directing that screenplay. I am producing that screenplay, and I'll be starring in it.
Incredible. So not just actor and film producer, now writer and producer.
Writer and director.
Writer and director.
Correct.
Congratulations on the
Thank
screenplay,
you.
by the way.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. So it was something that I won't say their names, but I've seen two people do it successfully before me. Writer, director, producer, and starred in their films. And it hasn't been something that's been done often because it's a lot of work, but I'm a big risk taker, man. I'm a dreamer, so I like to dream
So
big.
I want to stay right there because it's imperative that we talk about the journey of belief in self.
Yes.
First and foremost, we have a lot of aspiring creatives across the Virgin Islands in different industries and different aspects, and we don't always bet on ourselves. I, like you, could very well understand that journey and making that risk. What do you say to the young creative in the Virgin Islands who is apprehensive? They are not just apprehensive, but they're not necessarily willing to take the risk, but want it. What do you say, and how do you speak life into that individual? Because I'm sure you've come across quite a bit of our creatives.
Yeah. So my advice would be, let's start here. Fear cripples. So if you're going to be fearful, you're going to be crippled. Unfortunately, we have to get over that ourselves. So the way that we do that is, think about this. Everybody's going to fail. I'm going to fail tomorrow. You're going to fail tomorrow. We're all going to fail. But we don't stop at failure.
Okay.
So now if I think about, I'm going to fail in some sort of degree, that I'm okay with that. We have to get over the pressure of like, oh, you failed, so now you're over. Failure is where all the lessons happen. And then I can think about it like this. Tomorrow, I'm going to succeed. You're going to succeed tomorrow. So if I know that if I go to sleep tonight and I wake up tomorrow, I'm either going to fail or I'm going to succeed, what's the big deal? If I succeed, then I got to go to sleep the next night and I got to wonder if the next day I'm going to wake up and succeed or fail. So knowing that failure is inevitable, we have to be able to get over that, and then we have to be able to put 110% on ourselves. Because the strongest currency is not the dollar, it's not the pound, it's not the yen. The strongest currency is belief.
Beautiful.
Belief in oneself, belief in a partner, belief in a pair, belief in a friend. So if I believe in you, that's stronger than any money, any financial backing. Because belief is going to give you everything that I have. It's going to give you my resources. It's going to give you the funding. It's going to give you the support. It's going to give you my network reach. So my advice to anyone who's battling with that is close your eyes and take the step. If you fall, okay. We fell as kids. I fell out of the guinea tree a couple times. You know, we get a little bruises. You ask your mom or your dad to kiss the bruise, and then you get back up. So I think as adults, when we pass the age of maybe 13, 14, when we hit the teenagers, ego gets involved and we start protecting ourselves. But if we can go back to that child where we were willing to fail, we were willing to fall off of the bike, we cried and then we got back up. That's the mentality that actors have. So in the training, we're taught to live like a kid. And kids are fearless.
Indeed. And
Kids
we
are
should,
fearless.
if anything, take that from them, their ability to fall and get right back up. Now, you as I mentioned earlier, presented the keynote address at the recently held ESHS 2023 commencement speech, really celebrating with your fellow classmates the anniversary of your graduation from the then BVI High School. And your keynote speech took the form of dream. And I want you to speak about that and your selection in dream as a dreamer yourself.
Okay.
Tell us what the acronym stands for.
Okay, so dreams, dedication, risk, education, acceptance, mentors, and strategy. So having that game plan, it never includes success, it never includes fame. Those are going to be results. So with my acronym, I use it as tangible tools that we can work on. So with dedication, if you want something, you have to go out and do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You can't have a dream and not put work ethic into it. Risk is always going to be my favorite. Well, risk and mentors, I teeter between those two. Risk is an individual thing, but mentors are highly, extremely important. And we don't realize that because of, I'm going to do it by myself. It's impossible. It's impossible to do it by yourself. It is impossible, and I wish everybody would understand that. Mentors come in different sizes, shapes, forms, races, personalities. So understanding the acronym is honestly the key to success. If you're dedicated, if you take risks, and you educate yourself in the field that you want to take the risk in, you have acceptance that whatever is going to be is going to be. One of my favorite books is The Alchemist, and maktub is a phrase that's used in The Alchemist, and it is just, it's gonna be like, this is what it is gonna be. So I live by that. So acceptance, whatever is gonna happen. I was supposed to sit here with you. It's gonna rain later or not, I don't know, but accepting whatever happens is just part of the journey.
Incredible.
And then mentors, listening, asking questions, not having ego, not having pride, not being blocked off from the world. Mentors are very important because they give you things that you don't see.
Incredible.
And then strategy, set a game plan. Now the strategy is the best part because it comes back into the dedication.
Full circle. Yeah.
So if you have a strategy, you set a game plan, you set the goals, you tick them off as you get them done, and if you don't complete one, you go right back and complete it, but you need dedication to do that. So the cycle continues, and that's why I use dreams.
Wonderful. Now I have to touch on mentors because, like you, that is perhaps a very important aspect to my professional life. Yes. Is there anyone, or who are some of your mentors, whether locally or on the international scene, persons that you have looked up to or taken bits and pieces of their story and been able to propel that and encourage yourself?
Oh man, I have a few. I'll start with my parents. My mom was an educator. She taught at the BVI High School, which is now the Elmore Stout High School. She actually taught me.
Interesting.
So what a journey that was, getting taught by your mom. So I grew up in that household where my mom was an educator and my father was a businessman. So I got the best of both worlds, education, and then with business, you have to learn different things that they don't teach you in books. So I got both of those. Mentors, outside of that, Stacy Mater. Yes. Yeah, Stacey.
The Honorable Stacey.
Yeah, I was like, do I add that in there? I was like, to me, he's Stacey Mater, but I was like, wait.
He is now the Honorable.
Okay. So the Honorable Stacey Mater was one of my biggest mentors in the British Virgin Islands because right when I graduated high school and I was doing probably a year at HLSCC and I was trying to figure it out. Am I going to be a businessman or am I going to be this dreamer? And he took me under his wing and he hired me at YEP, Youth Educational Program. And he gave me so much insight. He gave me so much knowledge, expertise. And it wasn't one of those hold me by the shoulders. Stacy threw me into the water and made me figure
Trial
it
by
out.
fire.
Yeah, so I appreciate him for that. I still call him all the time. I text him. Any question I have, I reach out to him because his understanding far exceeds mine, and I can respect that. And having him as a mentor has been phenomenal. Internationally, my first teacher my first acting teacher, Kathy Laughlin, she was an extreme mentor to me. She was the one that taught me risk. She was the one that taught me to dream big. She was the one that gave me the courage while pulling me down. She was like, I'm gonna hold you down to see if you're gonna fly. So it's one of those things, the best example I would put is grab a bird by the legs and see how much they're gonna try to get away, and then you let them go. So she was holding me to propel me. The slingshot is what she calls it. So if you pull a slingshot back and you're just building up that traction, and then, so I loved her. On set, in the acting world, Chadwick Boseman, the late Chadwick Boseman, the things that he told me on that set resonates with me today. He was the reason I went to London, because he trained at the British Academy, and I just couldn't understand why he was so good. So he was the reason that I researched the London schools and got accepted gracefully. And my current mentor, let's see, I have so many. My peers, my friends on the Virgin Islands, I still keep in touch with them. Even though we're the same age group, they're still my mentors. And I got one more for you. One more mentor. I gotta go through the list of the Rolodex. Life. Life's my biggest mentor.
Interesting.
Life's my biggest mentor, because I can see the janitor and the CEO, and I'll still listen to both of them. So life's my biggest mentor.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, allow me to be the first, if I am the first, to not only congratulate you on your remarkable journey, but congratulate you on your humility and staying grounded and connected to us here in the Virgin Islands. For many of us, like myself, who follow your journey, are immensely proud, and we continue to wish you the very best. We here, of course, at 284 Media, thank you for stopping by.
Oh man, I love it here.
And we appreciate your commencement speech. I trust that the students were able to take something away from it. But most importantly, as you continue to traverse and continue in or on this remarkable journey, of course, we want to let you know that we fully support you, and we wish you the best. So for persons who want to follow your journey, how can they follow you on social media?
Oh man, which camera? You camera. You
Right,
you get a
here.
job. You get a job. You get a job. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car right over here. To find me on social media, there's Instagram. Everything is actually my name.
Okay.
Sheldon Frett. Anything you need from me on Facebook, I rarely post there. The best place to find me is gonna be IMDb, Sheldon Frett. You'll see all my credits. But if you want to find me personally, you can just find me on Instagram, Sheldon Frett, Twitter. I post my ideas and my thoughts on Twitter. Actually, Twitter is a great place to follow me if you want some inspiration. I just say what's on my mind. Twitter is Sheldon Frett, and then Facebook, Sheldon Frett. Or if you need anything else, IMDb gives you updates on all the films that I'm currently working on. So
Incredible.
Sheldon Frett at Instagram.com. How does that work?
Indeed.
At Sheldon Frett.
It's at Sheldon Frett,
At
exactly.
Sheldon Frett.
On
I use
Instagram
my
as well.
name. I love my name. At Sheldon Frett.
And it is also your brand, most importantly.
Correct. It is
your
my
representation.
brand. Sheldon Frett, born and raised in Tortola, British Virgin Islands. Every time you look me up, you'll see that. If you Google me, Sheldon Frett from the British Virgin Islands. So, yeah, Sheldon Frett is my brand.
Incredible. Well, again, thank you so much for stopping by, and we wish you continued success.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the play that is now going to be on screen.
Man, it's going to be a beautiful screen
Indeed.
adaptation, and
we got you.
We're going for some buzz. You know,
we're gonna make some things happen.
I'll keep you posted about
Most
that
definitely.
one. But just know it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge on the caliber of the Get On Up film.
Beautiful, and we'll be
Caliber
supporting
of the
you.
Get On Up film, but done by me. Yeah, what a journey. 10 years later.
Indeed. Congratulations.
Thank
once
you
again.
so much. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for having me for real.
You're most welcome. Viewers, that is all the time we have. As mentioned before, we were joined by the one and only Sheldon Frett, actor and film producer who has now transcended to writing and directing.
Ooh.
Of course, there's a lot in store and a lot to be kept up to date with him. Whatever you want to see, it's Sheldon Frett, of course, our best and brightest coming out of the British Virgin Islands. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Bye-bye.